World of YouTube out here, and we're doing another edition of Music of the Past. Now this band that I'm going to do, come over here and talk. Give me a little shout out about in today's band we are covering today is Main Attraction, the song in the mighty band of Quiet Riot. Now this band evolved in 1983 with their major hit album Metal Health. But little do people know that Quiet Riot's been around since 1978. And for those of you that don't know, Quiet Riot is also the Open Huge Door and legendary guitarist Randy Rhoads, which I think he was one of the co-founders of Quiet Riot, along with Kevin DuBrow. May he rest in peace. Awesome singer, very unique voice. But due to his ego, you shall say, which he later on in time regretted doing, which one of his problems that pretty much destroyed his singing career with Quiet Riot and started the feud with Quiet Riot and the other bandmates would be him telling Hit Parade Records to kiss his ass and that he'll wipe the book with his ass and who needs Hit Parader and blah blah blah. Well, that is the story may be told, and I quote. But before all that mess, the huge album of Metal Health, and of course, as you can see, the little face in there with the legendary mask that they once wore, and Kevin DuBrow would always come out stage in their beginning tours when they first started with his stray jacket, the legendary stray jacket, red jacket that he had, and this mask. But it just seemed to fail with this album, which came out in 1986. And their heavy power driven chords from Carlos Cavazo, very, very talented guitarist. And what people don't know is, right, he was before the mighty Zakk Wylde and holding the torch for Randy Rhoads. And you could hear distinctive playing from Cavazo in the first album. And I mean, he ripped it up just as well as Zakk Wylde did. But of course, due to this album is pretty much where the band got buried, trying to keep up with the times, you may say, did not work for them. And the lack of heavy riffs and more solos. Not enough solos and not enough heavy riffs in this album, due to the fact that they went straight to keyboard and, you know, more of a pop rock, not heavy rock as I call it. But I mean, the album wasn't great, but I dig it. I can listen to the whole album and enjoy it. But if I need something heavy and need something for, you know, something to ease my mind with the crazy metal music that once lived, this would not be the album. But like I said, I can enjoy this album, but if I was to rate this album, I hate to do it, and it sucks to say, I can only give it 2.5, 3 stars in a 5-star, you know, ratings. But there is one song on here that gets a little into their old school roots, The Pump. But everything else, what you just heard, The Main Attraction, and I just listened to this album again after, I don't know how many years ago. I think I got this album in like 87 87 is when I first bought it. And a lot of my tapes, and as you can see, it is well taken care of due to the fact that I couldn't listen to it much, but I enjoy it, don't get me wrong. So the first song we started off with was The Main Attraction. We'll try the second. I'll just go through this album, some of the songs real quick, until I get it to The Pump. But it was very rarely, too, that albums and tape cassettes like this came out with the songs on the front casing. But the album itself looks badass, of course. But yeah, the songs, unfortunately, aren't. Give you a little visualization. This song is got a little bad bass, drum bass, and a little on the heavy side, but not enough to hold up the album Metal Health and Condition Critical. Them two albums were very powerful. You hear them lyrics, times are changing due to the jukebox generation. Modern day, this song is the wild and the young, but very good too. But I mean, this song right here is does got some good. It is a good anthem song. It does got the heavier riff, like The Pump. So I mean, both of them songs right there, to me, are pretty much the ones that I really like the most on this album. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I said, I like everything else, but it's hard to choose the music on this album because of it being more synchronized with keyboards. And then songs like this, Twilight Hotel, but you ain't got your power chords, you ain't got your power riffs, heavy riffs. But I like this song myself, personally, because due to the times when I grew up, it just set right with the mood, and when you need to get a little away from the old headbanging, you know, and your neck sore, this song is what, any song like this on any album is what you would fall into. Take your little break. Because you can't go around breaking your goddamn neck trying to slam dance and mosh all your life. You're gonna break something. But you can see though, this is why grunge took over, as you may call it, and I'll have to keep saying it throughout my 80s songs. When I do 80s, I mean, yeah, of course, grunge was more heavier. It gave a riff and style of music unlike this. And in the background, you can hear the keyboard. And this is Down and Dirty. Now this was more like, of course, hell, if you put in a stripper club, I guess it would work fine. But, like I say, these songs, man, were more hip beat. So, needless to say, it wasn't one of Quiet Riot's platinum albums, like the other two went platinum. Now this one, Rise or Fall, no, heavy riff, but throughout the song it gets into this mode of just, it lacks of solos. And I mean, it lacks kicking in the keyboard. Now, due to the bands like Loverboy and, well, mainly Loverboy. Loverboy back in these days, 83, 84, they were more party rock. I mean, they were pure rock and roll, but more party rock. More hype to the beat, and the keyboards fit with their music. Unlike these guys, where they started out pounding heavy, hardcore riffs. I mean, you can get into it. There are some riffs that are heavy, but the song mellows out and smooths out. Put up or shut up. You know, it's just insane and intense what people were trying to do back then. Even Ozzy's have keyboards throughout all his albums, a lot of them. In the first two, of course, Blizzard of Oz, Diary of a Madman, but some bands can make it sink in with their music and others can't. And unfortunately, it's sad to say, right, Quiet Riot was one of them. And this is Still of the Night. So, yeah, that's a more mellow, laid-back song. But like I say, the times that I listened to it brought me instant memories and stuff, so I dig it. And I mean, this video, though, also, I want to honor Kevin DuBrow as being a very up in the top 10, 15 singers of all time with his unique voice. And I also love to salute and honor Carlos Cavazo, because before Zakk Wylde, this guy was the closest thing to Randy Rhoads. And them first two albums of Quiet Riot slammed the mark of it. And this is The Pump. I mean, it's got the keyboard in it, but this song hit it right with it. But it's more of a heavy down, grooved riff that I love. Now, if they would have made more music like this, The Wild and the Young, I believe this album would have went more up to the charts than it did, but unfortunately it didn't. Bang. And I'll leave it with that. And I mean, if you wanna, you know, if you're into like the more like light rock, more like rock and roll type, well, that album will suit you fine. But I mean, I'll give this to end this. I would buy that album before I would buy any of the most of the new bands of today. I would buy that album before I buy any other of today. Because at least that album, the lyrics were still there, telling the story, the tale of the music. And it stands still a test of time, whether it be a 3-point star, 2.5 star rating album. That album means more to me than any new album of today where they just slap together, put their music up and say, hey, I'm here for the women, I'm here for the money, I'm not here to pump in the lyrics to the mind of the people and treat them like I was treated when I was living on the streets, when I was struggling in them homes like you were, trying to get a meal in my house just to friggin' feed my family or whatnot. Even though some bands back then didn't have families, but some bands did. And they were determined back in the 80s, 70s, 60s to get on that fucking stage and pump the rock in the lyrics and get it right for the people to electrify. When I put in an album, man, all my pain in my body goes away. It's like an electrified jolt of energy. Any album with powerful strength and stuff, even when I feel like I want to relax, the music's there too. You know, people rag on like Metallica doing slow songs and ballads, but guess what? Slow songs and ballads are there to, you know, recover yourself from the headbanging that you do, like the great late, rest in peace, my brother Cliff Burton, and his dad used to sit there and say, Cliff, why you keep on banging your head, man? And he's like, well, and then because Cliff would go home complaining to his father, oh, my neck. And his father would just laugh at him, say, well, you gotta cut that headbanging out, boy. You know, stuff like that. You need that light music, the ballads to ease your mind, to get back to reality, to get jolted back into the pit of, you know, moshing or whatever you do, or headbanging or air guitaring, whatever it may be. And that, my people, is what Quiet Riot did with this album. Even though it didn't go through the charts like the old ones, it's still there, it's still history, and it's still, to me, it is a good album. I'll rate it. It's good. And I need it in my life, because a lot of them, few of them songs, memories galore, so. And that's what music should be for, memories. Music is right. Music is life rather than you having your family beside you. Music should be the second best thing in your life. Then tied with friends. If you have any good friends, you want to keep them friends too. But, you know, music, you got to keep it up there in the ranks, man. Because, you know, when families and friends start growing off and